What's up YouTube? I'm back with another video. In this video I'm going to be telling the story on how I made $1 million off t-shirts fresh out of high school at the age of 18. If you don't know who I am, my name is Caprice. I am the owner of seven-figure brand Project Capri. I've been a young entrepreneur for a couple years and I've been blessed to be a millionaire by the time of 18 and move out into my dream high-rise 2 weeks after graduating high school. And for the people who trying to call it cap, let me grab my phone real quick. So there's my Shopify. I made over $1 million selling clothes, and I'm going to be telling you guys the story about how I did it, what I think separated myself from a lot of other competitors that I have, and also how you can maybe do the same. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about my story as a brand owner. I know I haven't really dug too deep into my story, but I've had followers for a little minute. So if any of you guys remember any of this stuff, y'all are goats, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I started my brand in October of 2022. Today, it is currently August 2nd of 2024. So I've been about almost 2 years into clothing now. The reason I started making clothes is ever since I was really young, and I'll pop up videos and stuff like that, I used to custom make clothes. My dad he was a very well fit dude, so he always wanted everything matching. He taught me about matching, and I started off with matching and then just added my own little spin to it. I used to take pants, turn them into stacked jeans. I used to rit dye them. I used to turn t-shirts into cut tees, just random little stuff like that to make my outfits better. And I just liked taking pictures, you know what I mean? I'm the type of person where when I see an opportunity, I don't let it go by. I don't wait on anything, you know what I'm saying? I like to take risk, you know what I mean? And I feel like you really do got to take a risk to get rich in life. So I had some businesses, obviously not LLC businesses because I didn't know what I was doing, but I've had businesses before my clothing brand. So I actually used to do drop shipping as well. I actually had a whole community behind it. I used to drop ship, and when I was like 15, I made 30 grand off drop shipping splatterball guns. So I was drop shipping splatterball guns, Eric Emanuel shorts, which is now I know very, very illegal. Ever since a young age, I just had a very like business mindset, you know what I mean? In some of my vlogs, my mom will even tell you guys, like, I was watching videos about the stock market at like 12 years old. Like my mom has stories about me asking to borrow a case of water, selling them all, giving her back money to buy some more, and then selling those all inside my neighborhood. I've always just been a hustler since very young, you know what I mean? My mom used to be a car saleswoman and stuff like that. So sales is kind of like in my whole family's DNA when it comes to car salesmen. So I've always been raised around people that sell cars, know how to get their way, they have to market something, boom. And then my dad, it was like a 50-50. My mom's side was more business, my dad's side was just more street. But I lived with my dad, but I learned after my mom and just avoided my dad's mistakes and took all the great stories and everything that he tells me to become the man I am now, right? After this, all my life, I'm a hustler. It gets to the point where I'm 16 years old, I'm playing basketball, I'm pursuing my Division I basketball dreams. I'm already making a little bit of money at this point. I made 30K in sales, which was around 20K profit in drop shipping. So I had 20K in profit at 15, right? This next part is what really ultimately slowed down my progress of my brand, where I probably would have been at 1 million sales way before. I'm thinking of a new way to make money, and the first thing I see is I see some stuff on TikTok about starting a brand, or I've always thought about starting a brand, but I never really knew how to do it. As soon as I started seeing videos about how to set up a Shopify, how to talk to a manufacturer, boom, I instantly started working on a brand. I thought of the name. My name is Caprice, and I use Capri as short. Capri in Latin actually means goat. So my brand name is Project Capri, which is the project of turning the younger generation into the greatest versions of themselves. At first, my brand name was Adore Capri. I go to start my brand, figure out my name, make the Instagram, set up for a Shopify, and I get everything down, and then I start designing. Now with my money I have saved up, I get an iPad, I get a pencil, I start trying to design. Now I have great ideas, don't get me wrong, but my designing game wasn't up to par with my ideas. So my designs weren't too good. I designed a t-shirt, and actually I'll put up a picture of my first ever drop that I designed on my own on iPad. It was terrible, you know what I mean? But I'm the type of person where I feel like you just need to start something and learn as you go. Like a lot of people, they hold off on making a brand because they're like, oh, I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know this. I didn't know half of the things I know now, but what I just did was I started and I went and I just continued to learn, and then eventually you're gonna be good at it, right? So boom, I start my first drop, everything planned out how I was gonna do it. Mind you, I have 20K to my name at this point. My mom is in some business stuff, like some debt and everything like that, eviction on the houses, everything. Stuff's going pretty bad for my family, which is why I say I've been taking care of them and supporting my family since a very young age, right? And I have 20K to my name. My mom wanted to do a business investment with some guy out here in Houston. She needed to pay off a $15,000 credit card enable for that to happen. I give my mom the 15K, and it was supposed to be, the investment was supposed to be so quick that I was supposed to get that back plus some interest in a short amount of time. Let's just say I've never seen that money since then, and now at the beginning of starting my brand, I'm left with around 4 or 5 grand to start my brand while also still having to like pay my dad's rent, make sure the water's on here and there, you know what I'm saying? Like, so boom, all while hooping. Mind you, I'm in high school, I'm like a sophomore in high school at this point, all while hooping, right? I got 5 grand left. I'm going to start my brand, and what I end up doing is taking 2,500 out of my 5 grand, 4 grand, whatever it was that I had, and I spent it on a bulk because I wanted my first drop to be pre-made. I didn't want people waiting super long for shipping and everything like that. So I spent basically half the money, like basically right now, half of your bank account, I spent all that on a bulk, right? I market the drop. I'm just learning as I'm going, figuring out everything, you know what I'm saying? I end up doing around like 1,700 in sales. Most of them were all like in Vegas, like friends, family, uncles, aunties, a couple supporters online. That's why there's not too many people that you guys know that have like a first Capri drop ever, right? And it does 1,300. So mind you, that's not including that I still gotta ship these orders out. That's not including that my bulk was more than how much I got back, right? So I lost out on my first drop. I went nuts. I spent all my money having to fulfill the orders and everything like that. I ended up left with like 50 t-shirts and I couldn't get them gone. So I literally just went to school and was giving them away just so like my friends would like post it and stuff like that, and I would become more known, just at least in Vegas, right? If you're any of the people that I gave away one of the t-shirts to, shout out to you. If you're watching one of these videos, drop a comment down below. Boom, I give away all the t-shirts and I'm like, okay, I gotta make something shake. This ain't cutting it, right? So my first drop that I ever released did around $1,700 in sales. My second drop did $22,000 in sales. Basically, I went back and I made a T-chart, and this is why I tell everyone that I mess with this a lot, you know what I'm saying? I made a T-chart, which is a chart where it's a line, boom, and then you put pros and you put cons. And what I used to do, everything I felt that I did right, I put in the pros, and everything that I felt that I did wrong or maybe limited me on sales, I put in the cons. In my next drop, I wouldn't drop unless all the cons were marked off as I didn't do them, right? So I was basically learning from my mistakes from the first drop and using it to better my second drop. I'm also a 3-year marketing student. I took marketing all throughout high school, so I already knew like the terminology, you know what I'm saying? So I just needed to learn how to use social media, how to monetize social media, how to blow up. I started learning about algorithms, the Instagram algorithm, TikTok algorithm, even the YouTube algorithm, just watching countless videos. I probably watched every Mr. Beast interview that's ever been published. I swear that dude's a genius, right? Now I take it in my next drop, I end up doing 22K, right? So I got with a designer, I got a higher quality design that I ended up having to pay for. I went to a higher quality manufacturer. So I literally went to a brand owner that I seen had good quality stuff, and I paid him for his manufacturer, and it was a Pakistan manufacturer, and I went through and I ended up working with him. I actually was finna shout him out and say his name, but I remembered he ended up scamming me. Fuck Pakistan manufacturers, so I'm not gonna say his name. I was doing something that was a little bit more trendy, and I was doing something a little bit more in, right? Gallery Dep had made these sweats. Everybody, I'm gonna put up a picture of them here. Everybody knows what they look like, right? And I messed with the paint splatter that they had, so I ended up designing this. Now I dropped this. I'm gonna shoot up a couple content here and there of things I did for that drop. I was making TikToks. I was on TikTok live answering questions about my items. I was making TikToks basically explaining how much GSM it is, the design process, everything, you know what I mean? So what I was trying to do now was, instead of just having a brand, I was trying to pair my personal face and my personal life with my brand. There's two different things. There's a personal brand and there's a business and a brand, right? So Caprice, myself, as a person, I'm a personal brand, and Project Capri is a whole separate entity. But when you have a personal brand and a brand, that's why these big organizations are paying influencers millions of dollars, because influence is everything nowadays, right? So now I start growing my personal brand. In my next drop, I end up doing 22K. I remember I was on top of the world. I also dropped the day after Christmas, which I think was a really big factor on why I did so well. Also, my first drop was on October 22nd, my mom's birthday, and my second drop was December 26th, the day after Christmas. I did that drop and boom, that's how I went. First drop, 2K, second drop, 22K. So then now I'm gonna tell you guys how I really elevated from having a 22K in a week pre-order drop. And also, if you were wondering how I was able to afford the next bulk, even though I lost out on a lot of money my first drop, I ran a pre-order. So all I bought was the samples. It was all pre-order, so they could order as much as they want, basically. But now I'm gonna tell you some things that I feel like I did different different that made my brand elevate more than some of the other people maybe that at the same time, or just made me successful at a young age? Okay, the first thing I think I did that was very good was I was ahead of trends. When I would see something that I thought had potential to be a new big thing or a new thing that majority people would mess with, I would try to make that instantly, right? So that's the same thing I did with the gallery department sweats. I was one of the first brands to kind of make like a knockoff version of those gallery depth sweats with the hoodie to go with it. And then my next drop after that, I actually made some CPFM inspired hoodies that I'll pop up right here that said, "Thank you for doubting us." I made those, and those were CPFM inspired, and that kind of started that small little wave of like that font on hoodies. I had another drop where I was actually the first brand to ever release a free thug tee. So if you've seen a bunch of free thug tees out here, plenty of brands have them. I was the first brand to drop a free thug tee, and that was one of my like big drops, which was on my birthday of 2023. I did around 40-50 grand off t-shirts. I feel like being ahead of trends definitely helps, because when you're ahead of the trend, or when you're the first one to kind of like streetwear it or bring the price down a little bit, people are forced to shop with you because you're a pioneer of that. At the time, if you liked the thug shirt or you wanted a free thug shirt, I was the only brand that you could come to get one, so it would get me more sales, you know what I mean? So I feel like being ahead of trends was for sure one of the things that helped me in my journey of becoming a 7-figure brand owner. Okay, another thing that I think helped me with scaling my brand so fast was I'm more of a businessman than I am a clothing brand owner. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm one of the best designers. I wouldn't say I'm one of the best dressed. I wouldn't say I have one of the flyest brands. But I feel like as a business owner, when it comes to just pure marketing, that I'm one of the best when it comes to that. I honestly feel like it would be easier for me to go to a nail tech, a barber, a car detailing business, and I can take them making 6 figures a year with a nail tech business, a barber business, easier than I could a brand. Now, yes, I do mentor brands and I take brands from 0 to 6 figures religiously, and I've done already 32 of them this year. So shout out to the school community. I know some of y'all are watching this. Speaking of school community, let me do a little self plug real quick. If you do want to learn more about brands, more about marketing, speak with me 3 times a week. I do have a school community that is $75 a month right now. I'm raising the price to $100 a month, so you definitely want to get in before I raise it to that, because we're making sure the calls are very good, getting direct help to the customer, you know what I mean? A whole chat in there, my designers, manufacturers, everything you need. Literally, if I had this list when I started my brand, I would be 10 times further than I am right now. So shout out to all my 6 and 7-figure brand owners that have been made out of that school, you know what I mean? And yeah, let me get back on track. So really, I'm just a businessman when it comes to marketing, and I know the algorithms really well of all like social platforms, you know what I mean? So I feel like being a businessman, it kind of makes it easier than if you're just a clothing brand owner, because I know plenty of brands that have tougher clothes than me or a better brand aesthetic than me that don't make half the money, but that's because I'm looking at this as a business aspect and not a clothing brand aspect. I feel like when you come into clothes with a business mind aspect to it, or you have someone on your team that has a business mind, then I feel like that will also enhance the amount of sales you get and kind of what you do, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of brands out here that just do certain stuff just like to maybe like look cool or don't want to cross lines, you know what I'm saying, for marketing. And if they implemented some more things of maybe showing a couple more things, you know what I mean, stuff like that, then they would definitely be making more in sales. So I feel like that is also another reason why I grew my brand pretty fast. Next thing I did very well is early on in my brand, after actually the first year, I got a fulfillment center. Well, a fulfillment center is basically somewhere that fulfills your clothing and everything like that, and I got a warehouse for that out in Vegas. And basically I was able to put things like my thug tees, my emergency tees, my drop shoulder tees, any blank item I could print on it and sell it and get it shipped and packed within 24 to 48 hours, right? So I ended up buying my own warehouse, and I actually have my own software that I haven't even told you guys about yet. I have my own software I paired with this company. Our brand evaluation is already 100 million, right? It's mostly their brand, obviously, because mine hasn't launched yet, but we paired, and I have a software that's gonna be an app on Shopify that you're gonna be able to connect to your brand. And when you connect it to your brand, you're gonna be able to run your fulfillment. You're gonna be able to run print on demand with items. So for instance, we'll have blanks of this cut tee, and then when you're connected and you get an order, someone will grab the blank, print on it with a DTG CNC machine, DTF, embroidery, hats, all that good stuff, you know what I mean? And then pack it and ship it for you. So what that did for me was create a bunch of passive income, because you don't need no upfront costs. If I wanted to drop this right now, all I would have to do is pay for the sample, which is gonna be like anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks, promote it, and then when I drop it, they'll grab a blank every time I get a sale. So you have no upfront cost, which helped me with a lot of drops, because if brand owners wanna do a pre-made drop with fast shipping, you're gonna have to put up 10, 20, 30, 40,000, depending on how much inventory you wanna buy. You're gonna have to put that up for a bulk. I would have thug tees on my website 24/7 that were print on demand. So I would just pay an invoice at the end of each week, you know what I mean? For how much like the t-shirts were, the DTG printing was, and all that. And now I have my own warehouse and software out here in Houston, Texas. I'm a little tired. I've been up since hecka early, and I just got done working out, but I want to get this video out for y'all, so my bad if I'm stuttering and shit like that. I have my own software company and my own warehouse out here in Houston, Texas, that basically does everything that I just told you, right? I haven't launched it yet. I'm just previewing it to you guys right now, so make sure you guys are on tune for that. We're gonna have all brands on there, you know what I'm saying? We're made at my warehouse that are print on demand that I can literally have on my site all the time. Fulfillment was definitely one of those. So make sure if you guys are interested in that, you hit the like and comment and subscribe button real quick, you know what I mean? Because you guys are gonna be one of the first to know when I launch this software, and it's gonna be a better deal right when I launch it than if you don't. The software is kind of like my long-term plan. We plan on growing up both entities and softwares, combining entities, and then eventually exiting the company. So make sure you guys are here for that journey. This is gonna be crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go into the next thing on why I think my brand scaled at a good rate. Yo, Twin, you straight?
Yeah, basically it's like a little curve on the tire, like top.
You need me to come get you?
But it's not good. It's not bad. They're not
Yeah, call and tell me. I'm about to head that way.
Alright, just get on.
Alright, no, you straight. Alright, y'all, I'll be right back in finishing this video. Aiden just crashed his car on the freeway, so I need to go get him and stuff like that. I'll be right back. Hold on. Hey, Aiden. Okay, we are back. A little interruption real quick. I had to be Batman for a second and go save Aiden, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Aiden. I've been mentoring his brand for a while now, and he took a risk and moved to Houston out here with me, with CJ as well, and let me mentor him his brand. And the first month out here of me mentoring him his brand and him moving with me, he did 30K his first month. He did 30K in 30 days. He did 50K so far now, and now tomorrow when he drops, he's gonna be a 6-figure brand. Mind you, 2 months ago, he was a college student working at Lifetime Fitness. He was hooping, he was at JUCO in Vegas and stuff like that. Crazy turnaround. Shout out my boy Aiden. He just got a Hellcat, so if his YouTube video is up by the time this is posted, go tap in with him, right? Okay, another thing I feel like I did very well is I mixed my personal brand with a brand. I started a personal brand and my own brand, so I would post my accomplishments, buying my mama house, my dad a house, my mama car. I bought my dad a car, but I never even made a video on it, you know what I mean? Paying off my dad's back child support, you know what I mean? Paying my dad and mom's rent, all that stuff, you know what I mean? So I'll just make videos on accomplishments like that and motivate other people to do the same and show them that it's possible online and social media money is real, you know what I mean? Aside from that, I also feel like me being very transparent is another reason why I got a lot more success, because I'll talk about things that other people won't want to talk about, or I'll tell you guys maybe about a time where like I dropped and even though it did good, I wasn't profitable. I'll tell you guys about like my direct bulk price. Like I'll drop something for $110 and I'll let you know how much I got it manufactured for. All this stuff. So I feel like being very transparent makes like my relationship with my followers a little bit tighter, you know what I'm saying? Because they can really learn from me. I used to hate when I was starting my entrepreneurship and I would want to be like, okay, I might want to start this, but how much money does it make? And nobody really wanted to say any prices, or they were very vague, you know what I mean? So for anyone that starts a clothing brand, I let them know how profitable it is, how unprofitable it can be, the ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing for sure. The next thing I did was create a lot of hype and demand around my clothes, right? So I went with a drop method where I would drop usually around once a month, once every 2 months, and I would just have one big drop that you could buy from. My shop wasn't open 24/7, right? So when you guys see me do 100K days, 200K days and stuff like that, that's because I built up hype and demand before all of my drops, you know what I'm saying? So having scarcity for your product, pre-made limited stuff, early access, making people have to sub to the SMS so they can get in your website 10 minutes earlier and buy clothes. Basically, it wasn't like you can't just be on your phone scrolling at a random 2 a.m. and buy Project Capri. You had to be there on drop day at the time I dropped to get your size and get what you wanted. Demand and hype is another big thing because people want what they can't have, and if it's too easy accessible, they won't look at it as good as it's supposed to be, right? So that's really what I did, was create demand and hype around my drops by having my site closed, by just having a countdown on my website and stuff like that, promoting drops and promoting pieces even though my website's closed, and forcing traffic to my SMS list is definitely one of the big things that went with my brand. Now with this next rebrand of Project Capri, I'm actually gonna be switching it, where I'm gonna be doing drops, but in between drops, my site's still gonna be open. With these next drops, my next drop is August 24th. I'm dropping some crazy pieces. It's gonna be my biggest drop yet. I spent around 110 grand on my bulk, and it's supposed to make back around 550K. So this drop's gonna be nuts. It's a back to school drop. I'm gonna preview a couple pieces here, not gonna leak too much. Go follow the Instagram, Project Capri. You know, if you're engaged with all posts throughout my rollout, I'm giving away free discount codes for on drop day, so make sure y'all go tap it with that. Creating hype and demand around my stuff definitely is what helped with my brand a lot, and I feel like a lot more brands should improvise that. And it took me 2 years of doing drops and creating demand until I wanted to switch to the clothes being available 24/7. You know what I mean? So now I'm about to switch to the clothes 24/7, where I'm just gonna order batches. So let's say right now, this next drop, I'm about to restock one of my best sellers, the denim flared sweats, right? I'm gonna buy 400 pairs of them. Once I get down to around 120 pairs left, I'm gonna go to my manufacturer and just order some more and just keep them on my site all the time, and then actually start running ads. Mind you, I've done this all organically. I've never ran an ad. The most I've done was a boost post, and I got banned from those too. So I've never ran ads. Everything was organic, you know what I mean? That's another thing that I feel like I did very well. And last thing is also the time I started. Now, me starting a brand back when having a clothing brand was different or cooler, you know what I mean, back in the day, is definitely gonna be easier to succeed than a brand that's starting maybe today. I hope that doesn't discourage anybody from starting a brand, you know what I mean? Because I feel like now that there's more competition, it's easier for brands to blow up, because if your stuff is actually high quality with a meaning and looks good, it's gonna stand out above all the other clones, you know what I mean? So I definitely feel like it's advantage now that it's kind of oversaturated, but making a brand really isn't oversaturated. I have brands that you don't gotta do 100K days, 200K days, but we got them some nice pieces, print on demand, and we're running them ads, and they're consistently doing 2, 3, 4K a day. You know what I'm saying? That shit adds up for sure, even with your profit margins not being the best, you know what I mean? So that shit's gonna add up. So I feel like a brand can still be something super profitable. I teach brands how to scale all the time. I'll pop up some testimonials here, you know what I'm saying? I'll just keep them rolling, of brands that I've made tens of thousands of dollars, you know what I mean? Speaking of tens of thousands of dollars, like I said, I have my school community is $75. It is gonna be raised to $100 soon. Yeah, make sure y'all join that. And that's kind of the story of some things I feel that I did different that also helped me when growing my brand. You know what I mean? Now I'm on to some whole bigger and better things. I'm at 1 million in sales now. Like I showed you guys, I plan on being at 2 million in sales by the end of the year. I'm getting really big into real estate. I'm about to dump around $500,000-600,000 into real estate these next couple months. So I'm gonna be vlogging all of this, documenting everything. So make sure y'all sub and like down below, man. I finally moved out. Like I said, I graduated high school 2-3 weeks, not even 3 weeks ago, I think a month ago. I graduated high school. I'm now living out in Houston, one of my dream high rises, you know what I mean? So let me know what videos y'all want me to make. I can make more sit down videos like this. If y'all want vlogs, if y'all want me to make separate channels for separate stuff, if y'all want me to start making car content, because I have a Trackhawk and an AMG. My Trackhawk now has 1,000 horsepower, so the POV drives, that would for sure be crazy. And I'm also thinking about getting my first supercar / super luxury car, you know what I mean? So let me know what car y'all should think I should get. I'm between like a Rolls Royce Cullinan or just like a Lambo right now. So yeah, y'all let me know down below. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Join the school community down below. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Peace.
Shorty got wop like Fetty. Bright one, I love to get ready. Then on my vomits to everything daddy is. Shot to the eye, now he looking like Fetty. Bitch, I be geeking, I told her what?